Hi everybody, today's video is going to be about link reclamation. So we're going to basically go through 4 points. We're first going to discuss what it is, then we're going to discuss how it's done, then we're going to look at what can be done, and we're going to look at how social media has an impact on that as well. So this video is aimed at our existing customers, also any potential new customers, and also just anyone that has an interest in search engine optimization in general. So maybe you use another agency, or you just want to find out a bit more information about it. So it's an overview of link reclamation and how that can impact any site that's out there online already. So we hope you find this useful. So firstly, what is link reclamation? So lots of people will have maybe had discussions about their business on the internet prior to maybe even having a website. So we come across a lot of customers that even in this current market, a website is a new venture for them. However, they may have been discussed online previously. Or you could be a big brand whereby your brand is constantly talked about online and people aren't giving you the accredited link that you deserve. So the process of link reclamation is going to these sources that already have links, or not links per se, as in they have talked about your business or your brand, and making sure that they link back to you guys. So link building is a massively important part of search engine optimization, and this is a fairly easy way to get links to you guys. So if somebody has found you guys newsworthy already, it's pretty easy to approach them and ask them to add a link to your site or to the correct page on your site moving forward. So that's what the process of link reclamation is. How it's done. So there's various methods and ways that we can find out where you guys have been talked about online or featured online in the past. Maybe you know that already. So if you're an existing customer of ours again, or you're a new customer of ours, it's really helpful if you can tell your account manager that in 2008 we did a charity event and we were discussed in the local paper online or something along those lines, and then we can maybe approach that paper and say, look, our client was featured, is there any chance that we could put a link to those guys? Even if it's an old page, it can still have some benefit. It could even have a high page rank because it's been around a while. So it's really, really important that you just give us as much information as you can. So how we can find out where you guys have been mentioned. So for smaller brand, it's much easier. You'll probably know if someone's talking about you online because they will have approached you. If you're a larger brand, you can use tools. For example, SEO Moz have a tool called the Fresh Web Explorer, which will basically give you alerts anytime your brand is mentioned online, and that will obviously come through to you guys in an email, and you can act on that. So if you're a large brand, you would know that you've been featured in for example, the Daily Mirror, and you could maybe approach those guys if you have a contact, if they haven't put a link through to your site, and just see if that's possible. Traditional media are moving away from offering links so much now, but there will still be blogs and other places that will mention your brand that you could potentially get a decent link back to your site. Also, Google has a great service which is called Google Alerts. So Google Alerts will alert you to anything you basically want to know about and any instances that come up about that online. So for example, you could put in your company name. So we would put SEO Desk in as a Google Alert, and we could put seodesk.co.uk as a Google Alert. Then we will then know if anyone mentions our name or our web address that we've been discussed online. We can then look to approach those guys, and if they haven't put a link to us, that we can make sure that that link is then added to the site, and we get some link juice from that through to our site, which is a great way to build links and also build relationships with other webmasters. So what can be done? So notify us first. So if you're one of our customers, or you're going to be one of our customers, it's great if you notify us what's basically happened in the past that maybe we can act on. So if you've been involved in any charity events, if you've been involved in the press, or in any media outlets at all as well. So if you've been featured in your local paper or a national paper you may have been featured in, or a decent blog or anything like that, we can actively go to those places and try and get you guys a link. And also if you're doing your own SEO, you can actively go to these places and try and engage with those people again and try and get a link to your site, which could be beneficial to you guys. Sponsors. So Some of our customers sponsor, for example, football teams or cricket teams or something along those lines. Those companies will often have websites, so you can ensure that you haven't just got mentioned with your logo, that you've actually got a link to your site as well. So often going back to those places is an easy way to get a link, especially if you're paying them money to sponsor a team. Then obviously they should really give you a link back to your site so you can drive some traffic, and also you can help with your Google ranks as well. Every time you do an exhibition, you should always ensure that your web address is put on the exhibitor's website. So all exhibitions now generally have a website discussing what's happening at the event, who's talking, who's exhibiting, etc. Make sure that you've got an active link on there. If it was an event in the past, you may, if it was a small event, be able to go back and get a link back on there as well. So it's not as likely, but it's still something to look at as well. Review sites. So lots of customers now are, especially tradespeople, are putting themselves in review sites. For example, Review Centre, Check a Trade, Trust a Trader, etc. And some of our clients will have put themselves and signed up to these sites years before they even had a website. So you need to go back to those companies and basically tell them, I'd now like a link to my site. They're going to do that if you're paying them a fee. Just make sure that that link is going to the correct site and the correct page that you want it to as well. And domain name changes. So some of our clients over time, they change their domain name. They'll have historic links and stuff like that. So we can do what's called a 301 redirect, and we can divert all the links across to the new site. However, it may well be that you've changed your domain name because you've been hit by a Google penalty. Particularly Google Penguin is particularly bad for domain names. So it might be that we don't want to divert all of your links across. So we may manually go ahead and reclaim some of the good links that you had and see if we can get the domain name changed on a few of those good links. And that's a good way to do that. So we can go to those guys. So let us know, even if you've been hit by a penalty or something along those lines, and what's happened. And we can then discuss whether it's an option to basically reclaim some of those links for you guys as well. So, social media as well. So, are you linking correctly from your social media profile? So, lots of our clients have set up their own Facebook pages or Twitter pages prior to coming to us as a customer, and they won't have put a correct link in their profile, which is just crazy. It costs you nothing. You already own that social media profile, so go ahead and make sure that that's linking. Other people will ask their friends to say, I don't know, for example, Dan Smith Plumbers, he might get all of his friends to like his page, which is great on Facebook. What would also be useful if his friends shared the link to his website. So if you can encourage your friends to share the link to your website via their Facebook, that's actually slightly better now than just getting likes to a page, because the likes get diluted and they will not see all the updates that you do over time. However, if they share the link, it will show in the feed, and all of their friends will see that they've basically got your site, and they can click to the site through that. YouTube as well. So lots of customers now are creating videos, as we are for you guys. So it's important in all your YouTube videos that you put a link to the site in the description of that YouTube video. It's really simple to do, but make sure that's done. So if you have video testimonials online or anything else, just ensure that you link from that video to your site, and that will drive traffic to you guys as well. And obviously YouTube's also owned by Google, so it will get picked up very quickly. And the last thing, as we quickly just mentioned there, but any friends and family that are talking about you guys on social, just ensure that they link with your web address. So give them the web address, don't tell them again to just like visit Dan Smith Plumbers page and stuff like that. Give them the actual www.dansmithplumbers.co.uk or something along those lines, and that will ensure that your customers will basically we'll see the link in other places, and also the search engines will pick it up as well. So it counts as part of your social signals. So that's basically what link reclamation means. What we're talking about there in brief was going back to places that already talk about you online, that don't link to you guys, and ensuring that those links are put in place on decent sites. If they're poor quality sites, just steer clear. But if they're a decent site and it's positive information on there, get that link put in and push it back to your site, and that will help with your SEO. So if you're an existing customer, contact your account manager as soon as you can and let them know of any historic news that we might need to know about that we could possibly get a link from. And if you're looking to use us at any time in the future, let us know as well. Keep us informed, let us know what's happened in the past, so we can go out there and try to look for this information. But it's a lot easier if we already know what exists and then try and hunting old information for you guys that may be de-indexed by Google or whatever reason. So the more information you provide us, the better the service we will give you guys. So I hope that video makes sense, and I hope that's useful for you guys in the future. Thanks very much.